welcome to my first video. Today I'm going to be showing you how to do a simple flower project that I found on the Fiskars site. It was originally designed by Lisa Storm, so I don't want anybody to think that this was my original idea. She has a picture tutorial up on the site at fiskars.com, but I figured today I would do a video just to illustrate how to do these flowers. They're really quick and really simple, and you only need a few tools. So to get started, you're going to need two different sizes of squares. I'm going to be using craft paper today just because I really like the look of craft paper, but you could do these in any color you wanted. I don't recommend using a print for these just because there's a lot of kind of intricate punching on them, and I think that they'll just kind of compete with one another. So these are 2 inches by 2 inches, and I don't have a 2-inch square punch, so I just cut these ahead of time by hand. But I do have a punch for the second size, and this is a punch for 1.5 inches. So you're going to need 2 of the bigger ones and then 2 of these smaller ones, and they're going to get layered together to form the petals of the flower. So these are this is all the paper pretty much that you need to make these. So since this is on the Fiskars site, I did go out and I bought a Fiskars punch. I guess you could probably use any detailed corner punch. Since I found these on the Fiskars site, I figured that I would use a Fiskars punch. The one that she used for some of the flowers in her tutorial, Lisa Storm's, I believe, was the romantic corner punch. I picked up the lace one. I just happened to like the 3 of them better. I thought that maybe I would get more use out of this punch size just for this project. But for these flowers, I like to use this one. Oop, can't see that. This one here in the middle that has like the little point on it. So all you're going to do is just punch the corners. You need to punch all 4 all 4 corners on all 4 of your squares, but just for purposes of this video, I'm just going to do these right now. So after you make your 4 punches, just kind of eyeball this. I just put a little tiny dot in the middle just to help when I'm cutting, and then you just cut from the middle and between your 2 punches almost up to the dot. You don't want to cut all the way through. And I did kind of mess up this little corner punch over here, but I'm just going to keep going because I think it probably looks fine. So after you do that, if you're using one of these more intricate corner punches, I think it works better if you kind of cut a little triangle. And I just kind of line up my scissors almost to this little corner right here. And then I cut about 1/3 of the way up the side. And this doesn't need to be exact. It's going to get folded under, so just eyeballing it is okay. So it'll look like that. Okay, just get those out of the way. And then since I'm using paper that it doesn't really matter, I don't have a pattern on or anything, just choose which side is going to be the top and which side is going to be the bottom. And you're going to fold these under so they're out of the way and they actually give a little bit of stability and dimension to your flower after you stick it together. So I just take these, and since it's a flower shape, I like it to be a little narrower in the middle, or towards the middle of the flower at the base of the petal, as it were, and get wider as it goes out, because that's, you know, how flowers look. So I just fold this in. And I find it easier just to go around and do all of the petals going in the same direction for the fold at the same time. So after I do those, I come back and I'll do the same thing for these. So by the time you're done, on this side, it's kind of this funky little cross pinwheel looking thing. And then this is going to be the side that you see once you build your flower. So this is kind of one of the flower bases. And you can fiddle with these any way you want. if you flip it over and you see that you don't really like the way it looks. I didn't like that one, so I went back and I fixed it. So you're going to do another one of these with your other big punch, and then you're going to do the other two with these little squares. Okay, so I've gone through and I did the other three. So you can see, even though these are only half an inch smaller, they look significantly smaller than these guys. So these are going to be our inner ones. And if you even had more punches or wanted to take the time to cut even more varying size squares so that your flower could have, I guess, 4 sizes of petals, if you wanted, you could do that too. The only thing, when they get pretty small, these are much harder to handle, and I'm not going to be putting my flower together with a brad. I'm going to be gluing it, but you do want to keep in mind that if you are going to use a brad, which would go through the center of your little flower pieces, that you need to keep this part in the middle of your flower big enough for the brad to go through to not rip your paper and make your flower fall apart, because that would be sad. So after these are all done, I just kind of go through and I push in the little middles. And at this point, if you were going to use a brad, you could take your awl or your paper piercer or whatever tool you like to use and just go through the middle of your flowers. I'm going to be using Glossy Accents today. This is by Ranger, and I love Glossy Accents. So basically we're just going to be stacking these up and just varying the places where the flower goes together. Put a little blob in the middle and just line these up. And you can angle them however you want. And after it dries, you'll be able to, I guess, shape your flower even a little bit better. I'm just going to help this guy ahead of time, give him a little more shape so he can smush down in here. Like that. You can see why using a brad would be a little more helpful when you make these. So I'm just going to give that a good squeeze and just set it down to dry for a little bit. Okay, so I just let this dry for a couple of minutes. And after it's had some time for the Glossy Accents to set a little bit, I just like to take something with an eraser, you know, mechanical pencil, regular pencil, and I just put it in the middle and I give it a little press, and this helps to shape your little flower, and it also makes a nice flat surface for this little button that I'm going to put right now. So I'm just going to stick him down inside like that. So after I put my little button in the middle, I just do the same thing. I take my eraser, just give it a little smush. And now I just have a cute little flower or a rosette or whatever you would like to call it. I think these would be so cute in white or kind of silvery or gray paper or light blue for little snowflakes at Christmas time, on any kind of holiday presents. I just think they're super cute. So they're really not that hard to make. They're slightly time consuming, and the folding takes a little bit of practice, but you can do tons of different things with these, and you can experiment with all those different corner punches, and you can mix and match. On this one, instead of a button, I did a little rosette just rolled up for the center, and I experimented with some of those other punches. I used this little corner one with the bigger holes here for the smaller flower, just to give it a little bit of variety, and I thought that that was pretty cute too. So there's tons of different things you can do. I'm sorry if the lighting is a little shadowy. I'm doing this at night in my apartment, and I'm still kind of trying to figure out all the logistics of this. But thank you so much for watching.